Hey everyone, Paul with Blackwater Honey Forge. It's Monday, June 29th, about 9 in the morning or so, and I'm out here pretty early on a day that I'd normally be working because it's supposed to be about 87 degrees today. Later in the week, it's supposed to be a heat wave. We're supposed to have about 97 degree temperatures. I just got back from a week on vacation out in North Carolina, and hot and humid, but beautiful country. Man, those of you that are working bees down in that area on those days when it's 98 degrees down there and you feel like you're swimming in the air, more power to you. And you are some stout individuals. So coming back from a week of not taking care of the bees, I need to check on the last of my splits, add medium brood boxes for their brood chamber, hopefully. And I have a couple of supers on my trailer as well that if I do need a super somewhere in the yard, I'll go ahead and do that. But basically, it's kind of just a full yard inspect, or at least on the ones that are just still single story. Hopefully making those hive-and-a-halves. Let's get in there, let's get suited up and get the smoker going and see what kind of trouble we can get into.
This is Blackwater Honey Forge, named in part after the Blackwater River we live near in central New Hampshire, and in part after the master craftsmanship of honeybees. This is a place for learning, discussion, and to practice the art of beekeeping. Welcome to the journey. Be well and forge on.
So as you saw earlier too, I was lighting my smoker. I just keep it super simple. I take 2 strips of cardboard. I find that works better than just a single strip for whatever reason, probably because then I get a nice fat roll without having to have such a long roll of such a long piece of cardboard. But I just roll that up nice and tight. Make sure to light that really good with the flame torch there. When you do that, by the way, and I know this from experience, don't put your hand over the other end because all those air pathways funnel all that heat right out the other end, and I burned the heck out of my hand one day. So always hold that in the middle, light that up, shove that in there. I throw just standard wood pellets in on the top, and as you can see, after you pump the bellows for a little while and just leave it breathing, it gets going phenomenal, and this thing will run 4, 5, 6 hours. I don't have a cork that I put in the smoker, so usually by the time I bring it back into my shop, that thing will still just be smoking and kind of hilariously filling my shop for the next 4 or 5 hours. So that's what really works for me. I know a lot of people use pine needles and other organics and things like that, but cardboard and wood pellets works for me, and the smoke isn't too hot, which is nice too. So let's crack into the first single brood chamber and see what we're looking like. It was queen right back on 7/17. I had to get some industrial markers as well. I went and got some of the Sharpies industrial grade because these that I was using were fading pretty quick, just the standard Sharpies. So we'll see how the industrial does. They'd last a lot longer if I put the tape on the side of the box, but I really hate crouching down and trying to write, especially when you're left-handed. Trust me, if you're left-handed, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to write on a lot of surfaces. So I already like what I'm seeing, especially since they got burr comb here on the top of the frames. And looking in, they've drawn almost all of these, so it's definitely time for me to add my next box. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna get this frame feeder out, put in a couple more foundations for the deeps, and then I'll have the medium frame feeder on the top box. So let's go ahead and pop this, move some stuff around, and turn this hive into a hive-and-a-half. So these 4 on this row, these were the ones that were true Walkaway splits. I didn't put a queen cell in them. This is, I was going to be making up a cell builder, and that queen was being a pain in the butt that day, and I could not find her despite checking and checking. So I just went ahead and turned that one hive into 4 splits. That original queen is in one of these boxes as well, and the other ones are all queen right now as well. So we'll go ahead and check on these. I have a feeling that they should be good for the medium brood chamber. And the reason why I'm doing this too, because in New Hampshire you can actually overwinter with single deeps. It just takes a little bit more of active management. You really have to make sure that they have some supplemental feed on if they're going to run out of their stores. The cluster is going to be really small, so you really have to consider your insulation and different things as well. With the extra medium brood chamber, that's just that much more resources that I can make sure that the bees have over the winter. And it just makes me a little bit more comfortable, and I think that it makes my management have to be a little less active, because when it is 20 degrees or 0 degrees or negative whatever the heck degrees, the last thing I want to have to do, even in an emergency situation, is have to open up the top of this hive and shove some fondant in there or whatnot. I really just want to pack the box up and leave it alone and see them in the spring. Oh no, tiny cluster. That's not good. Now they're still growing in here. Let me go ahead and move the camera closer so I can show you this. I mean, it's not a terrible thing. They're just growing really, really slowly. You see. And I'm really only looking at maybe 2.5 frames of bees here. They do have drawn comb to work with. I'm probably going to go ahead and move some of this empty stuff over to this other outside, so that way they can start working on filling these out. I do still have a lot of natural resources around, so that'll help them get some of this stuff drawn. I'm going to leave the feeder in there, of course, but yeah, some of these frames, they're not touching at all. So it's just a matter of seeing if they can bounce up quick enough to get them through the winter. Some of these hives I might not have a choice. I might be seeing them through into the winter as a single deep. Unless, the other thing that I can do is, if I need to, right towards the end of the season, I can pinch a queen and combine them with another single if need be, and just turn them into a double deep for the winter. But for now, let's just see where they can go in the next month and a half. And the good thing is the fall flow around here is really good too. I get a really good amount of goldenrod and aster, so we'll see. So I'm still at that same hive. I decided to go ahead and take a look at some of the frames and pull them rather than just look at them from the top down. I don't know if you can see what I can see. Not only is it a terrible brood pattern, but it's also all 100% drone brood. So if I do have a queen, she's a drone layer. If I don't have a queen, I have a laying worker. So I'm going to look for a queen real quick. If I find her, I'm going to pinch her. And then I'm going to do a combine with one of the hives next door here as well. So I guess that solves that problem. That's a bummer. So the next hive over looks great. I already started pulling out some foundation so I can checkerboard these in. And I'm going to go ahead and put the box that's next to me here that has that drone issue, and go ahead and combine it with this one right here. I'm also going to pull out this bottom feeder because I don't need 2 levels of feeders, so that way I can just do one feeder up on the top. So this one definitely has a much better population. I am going to take a moment as well to checkerboard some of my blanks in. I'm also going to see where they're at as far as eggs. Good looking eggs. There's only a little bit of brood on that frame, but one frame over. Look at that. That's beautiful. Love it. I don't want to disturb them too much. So let's go ahead and checkerboard this in. Get a couple more frames in there. And get that next box on. these frames looked a little light, so I went ahead and took that wax that I'd peeled off from some wonky comb down the way, and I just rubbed it onto these frames real quick just to give them a little bit better of a base. So just a matter of rubbing some extra wax on. Go ahead and putting that in there. I'm gonna do this side real quick too. Just give them a little bit of an extra boost and a little bit more of an enticement to get that drawn out. Really good brood all throughout this box. This hive is going to be very populated in a very short amount of time. And here we go for the quick introduction. Make friends. Oh, I got some bird comb down there I gotta clean up, I guess. I do. It's on the bottom of this frame though. Actually gotta pull this frame and clean that up. Yep. See that? That was not helping down there. All right, make friends. So it's funny, after being gone only a week too, there's just so many things on a homestead that fall behind. I mean, I did have a good farm sitter, but still, like right now, like my lawn looks like the land that time forgot. So I definitely got to get the lawn mowed again today. Got to weed whack everything. I set up the girls' pool, just all sorts of fun stuff. But to speak a little bit about North Carolina, I was in the Greensboro and Asheboro area, and the North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro and the Greensboro Science Center, highly recommend. Both really amazing facilities, and just good stuff. The kids and the whole family had an absolute blast. So another hive that I'm liking what I'm seeing. Some very active girls here at the moment. I think I'm going to do the same thing. These 3 frames, I'm really going to checkerboard these in, but I already know that I'm comfortable with adding the medium brood chamber, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and let's hope that the 4th one over here is the same way. This is just another really good single that I'm really happy with. They still have some comb that they need to draw in here, but everywhere where they have a spot where there could be an egg, there's an egg, or there's larva. So I'm just very pleased. Like I said, still have some to draw, but anywhere there's an open and available cell that doesn't have food in it yet, they're making bees. This one's heavy. Look at that frame. Packed. The other side, also wicked packed. Love it. Good stuff. Pull out that old queen cup as well. The JZBZ there cup. And I'd say that queen is doing a phenomenal job. Definitely getting a medium brood box today. So this is the last single brood chamber that I need to check to see if it has the colony size that I need in order to put on a medium brood chamber. I did end up combining to make a double deep. Instead of having 2 hive-and-a-halves, I have 1 double deep. What does that really mean? My total hive count went down, but I now have a stronger hive. So I'd rather have alive bees than more empty boxes, right? That's pretty clear as day. Before I open this up too, I kind of just want to mention, let me grab my smoker over here. You know, this whole YouTube thing. When I started the new company this year, and I figured that I'd incorporate that journey on YouTube, I wasn't really sure what to expect. You know, I only have one yard. I only have one apiary. I don't have out yards yet. I'm not a big operation, but I'm a growing operation. And I'm trying to just showcase honest beekeeping, mistakes and all. And I make a plethora of them, of course. I stumble on my words and everything else. And, you know, when I used to make content a couple years back, I think I had all of about 26 subscribers. And I guess what I'm really trying to say is thank you. Thank you for tuning in and subbing and following along on the journey. While I was on vacation in North Carolina, my sub count went over 500. So between that and a little bit more watch hours, that actually means that I'm eligible for monetization. Now, is that going to make me rich? By no means, absolutely not. That will not happen. Will it pay for my YouTube premium subscription? That's my goal. Yeah, if it makes me 20 bucks a month, that'd be pretty cool. So really, from the bottom of my heart to everybody that's watching, just thank you so much. I hope that you get something valuable out of this, even if it's just a good laugh at my inability to speak or the mistakes that I make. So let's go ahead and check this box. I think I said this already, but in case I didn't, this is the second swarm that I had caught from hive number 1 back there. And already just sitting here, there's really good hive activity out of the front. So I'm thinking they're going to be looking really nice. Oh, my cover came out with it. They are looking nice. However, I don't know that they're ready for another box yet because I only got about 2.5 frames of bees in here. But while we're here, let's go ahead and take a peek and see what's going on. Look at that beautiful, beautiful brood pattern and gorgeous brand new comb and cappings. I'm pleased. They got a ways to go, but obviously they're starting off really well. That's excellent. Move that around. Let's go ahead and see what the next one looks like here. Trying to be extra gentle. Look at that. Look at that. That puts a smile on my face right there. The reverse side looks just the same. There's eggs, there's larvae, there's goodness. I think in a week or two, I'll definitely be able to put another, the medium on. Oof, they made really fatty comb on this frame, which is going to be problematic. But, and man, I will tell you, another one with good brood in it. But with those open cells, it is, well, I can see the eggs. I don't want to say it's damn near impossible, but it doesn't make it easy, that's for sure. But I had white foundation on some of them, so I made use of it. And I got a queen cup in there, it's not charged. I haven't really looked for the queen, so I didn't see her. Like I said, I'm not really looking either. But I'm happy with her, that's for sure. Eggs all over the place. So let's checkerboard some of this in there. Hopefully they'll draw this out ASAP. I really don't like how fat some of that comb is, but I'm definitely not going to tear down any comb right now in order to give them I'm not going to tear down any comb right now when they're doing so well at laying and everything else. I'll deal with that another day, if at all. So really happy with this swarm. I'm not overly shocked either. It came out of a really good hive. So get this all buttoned up. And maybe in about a week or two, like I said, at that point, once they've drawn some more comb, then I'll go ahead and add that medium brood chamber. So let's go to my back row where I have some of the supers. Let's check on the honey flow. Might as well do that while we're out here. Let's go ahead and start right out here with hive number 1. Now, this is the hive that swarmed, so it had a massive population decrease. So I'm really kind of just checking this one out of curiosity. I don't expect the honey super to be full, but you know what? If they're doing something in it, then awesome. And they're not. There is, however, a drone stuck up here. I don't say nothing. There is a tiny little bit of nectar there. I got a decent amount of drones here. What are you guys doing? Why are you boys up here? I may have had a little bit of brood cells that I put up here. Just double checking real quick. I don't have anything capped. So that's good. Yeah, I got some drones up here. That's interesting. I'm probably going to offset the box a little bit. That way the drones can get out. But I do actually have some nectar in here. It's probably really not even worth putting on a scale. Come on, go. Let's go ahead and get this box offset a tiny bit here. That way I can get these drones out. Pack that back up, good to go. See these big old boys coming out? Who knows how long they've been stuck in there. All right, on to the next hive, which I'm hoping should be significantly better than that. My smoker does pretty good about not being too hot on the bottom, because as you notice, I always place it on a brick, not on these polystyrene covers. I really don't want my smoker to melt a hole through one of these. Oh, there we go. Got plenty of bees up in here. I like that. Let's just tip it, see what it feels like. I got a little bit of weight in it, 10 pounds or so. Let's pull this out. It looks dark. It's just dark comb, probably from last year's harvest. But they are getting a little bit of nectar in there. This one definitely is much more aromatic than the last one as well, which means they just have more in here in general. I'm sure that they have, I mean, this is a double deep colony because I combined on it. So they probably have a lot down here in the second deep as well. So it's just working on slowly making its way up to the honey super. I don't think I'm going to get a high yield this year, that's for sure. But I did triple my operation, so if I don't get a good yield this year, it's always next year, right? Good buzzing. Again, they've got the comb all prepped and ready. It looks good after my last extraction last year, but they definitely don't have a lot coming in here. Prepped, ready, not even any shiny in there whatsoever. Well, it is what it is, right? I'm gonna keep going down the line. Hopefully I get better news down there. I mean, we still got some nectar about. Of course, I already got some other local beekeepers that are already harvesting and extracting and everything, so operations that were far more established with actual production colonies are going to be beyond me, leaps and bounds. And no question about that. Hopefully I get some. I'd like to get some. Some is better than none. So down the line here, one of my other hives in the back row, they're getting there. We got a bunch of nice shiny nectar in there. Hopefully you can see some of the sheen. It's I don't think that's anywhere close to getting capped yet. It's still super wet. I'm most definitely not going to do a shake test and ruin all their hard work they've started. But at least I do have, most of these combs have some level of nectar in them, so they're getting there. I at least won't be skunked, right? I don't want to be skunked this year. All right, so here's the skinny. Most of my hives today all got their medium brood chamber, which is great. That means stronger hives are coming. One hive was combined, and my swarm from a few weeks back is on track to getting the medium brood chamber. That's the only one that didn't today. So everything's going and growing. My honey supers, meh at best. Some of them got some honey coming in, some nectar coming in. I don't expect a big yield, that's for sure. But even in the ones that are just getting really well prepped comb in the honey supers, if they don't put any nectar in those this year, at least next year, I have really nice prepped foundation and comb. So I'm trying to look at the positive in every direction. I'm not going to be making a lot of honey this year, that's for sure. I can already see that, but next year's hopefully going to be different, right? That's always the goal, right? Next year's going to be better, bigger, better, more badass. But I think I might be the first one to jump into the kids' pool today, even if it is only however terrible degrees it is when it comes fresh out of the hose. At any rate, thank you again for joining me. The message earlier about my YouTube sub count, that's super awesome. Again, thank you so much. I cannot possibly give you guys enough gratitude, you guys and gals. So thank you for following along. And pretty soon, hopefully, I'll be able to actually do some extractions and go through that process as well. Just had one bounce right off my face. Have a great day, a good summer, be well, Forge on.